everyone, hope you can see me. I'm home alone in quarantine. Chef Marsha Kramer here. Thought I'd show you a quick little recipe, something you can do at home. Adds a nice little fancy touch to whatever you're making. Parmesan cheese crisps is what we're going to work on today. So I just have a couple of basic ingredients. Parmesan cheese, I've taken that, and you can use either a microplaner or you can use a box grater. And then you're just going to end up with cheese that's basically grated like this. So pretty straightforward. I'll show you two ways to put that together. So we can do it either on a Silpat. So all I've done here is I've just taken a spoonful and I've flattened it down. I'm going to go ahead and stick that right into a 400-degree oven. Okay. So another way to do it is to get a pan and get that warmed up. Okay. So again, here it is, just a spoonful. Right on, and then you just smooth it down. Pretty straightforward. If you want to spice it up a little bit, you could go ahead and a little cracked pepper right on top. And again, you just stick it right into the oven, no big deal, and let that warm up. Maybe you don't have an oven at home. You're trapped in your dorm room. You're trapped somewhere else. All you need is a warm stove top. So again, same idea. Put the cheese in the pan, and I'm just pressing it down lightly. Okay. So here you can kind of see, I'm hoping you're getting it good because my phone's on backwards. So a little pepper on top, and then you have a choice of either a spatula or a rubber scraper, depending on what makes sense. You're going to end up with a product that looks something like this when you're finished. Okay, this one has pepper on it, and you can go to any level of crispness as you're working on that. My oven, 400 degrees. It takes about 6 or 7 minutes in that oven to make that happen. And on the stovetop, you can see it's just starting to melt. It will bubble up very nicely, okay? And then you'll end up with a product that looks really good in the finish, okay? I don't even have to move this pan. I just leave it sitting here, so it's doing well. I hope you all are enjoying the nice snowy weather out there. We have about a foot of fresh snow here in Boulder. My cats are very happy. My house is very clean, so I've been very busy on pandemic taking care of a few things. You'll notice as this cheese starts to melt, okay, it'll bubble up. So here you can see this one that's been in the oven. You can see it's starting to melt. I can't really tip it because it will slide, but that's an indication it's melting. I made some of these before the pandemic, and I had my friends try them out, and we are having them with soup, and when you put them back in the soup, the cheese melted, but then you still get that toasty flavor. I generally don't add anything to these recipe in the name of salt because the salt is very cheesy. So any sort of hard grating cheese would work well with this. Locatelli works nice. Parmesan works nice. And you can see now the one in the pan also starting to get that melted texture or quality to it. Okay. They'll get very thin. You can modify your sizes. You could go in straight lines. These can also be broken. They work great in a Caesar salad. So you can do small little pieces, or you could do something larger and stand it up inside your salad. So that works out very nicely. Let's take a look at this one in the oven and see how it's doing. Almost there, coming along nicely. The one in the pan, you can see also getting about to where that one was in the oven before. Check the one in the oven. He's starting to do nice. Again, if I tilt him too much, he starts to slide. And now I can hear the sizzling happening on this one. You can again adjust the sizes based on how much cheese you put down. Use a teaspoon instead of a tablespoon, and that will work well to give you the same result in your final product. So again, straightforward. Grated cheese, a spoon, an oven, or a pan. 3 simple things to do for making this. I apologize for my video quality as I'm home alone and not a video editor. So you get me rough and raw. Now you can see this one doesn't really want to move in the pan, so that's a good indication it's starting to get colored on the one side. The ones in the oven should be just about finished. Not quite there yet, but still getting that color. Really starting to slide a lot on that Silpat. If you didn't have a Silpat, you could just use parchment paper, or you could do it on the back of a sheet tray, greased. It's just a little easier to lift it off if you don't have the edges to contend with. And you can see this one not moving at all now. doing really nice, but I'm going to let it get lacier. The lacier it is, the more closer to done I know it's getting. Check my ones in the oven. They're bubbling away nicely. And this is something that you could do in a large quantity as well, depending on how many people you have coming for dinner or how much you really like cheese. I have about 6 different kinds of cheese in my house right now. I'm a little bit of a cheese addict. Okay, so this one here, I'm just gonna give it a little flip over. And you can see it's starting to have some color on the one side, but not on the other. So we will let that go just a little bit longer. One in the oven, still cooking away. Needs another couple minutes, as I said. We started about 12 after, so now it's 20 after. We're looking at 8 minutes so far. One in the saute pan, I just gave a quick little secondary flip. Again, much easier to check the color now. So you can see the saute pan's a little bit quicker. Could be the size that I have in there or the amount that I have in. Or the pan was maybe a little hotter than my oven was when I got started today. This one you can see starting to get the color, so that could be done. Or I can go a little darker if I want to have a little more color contrast on my plate. Again, it depends on what specifically you're looking for. Okay. And when they're done, they just come right off, straight and easy, onto the plate. Let them cool for a minute. At this point, I could manipulate it a little bit. So if I wanted to make some sort of an edible container, I could hand shape it, or I could put it into a bowl. Okay, then you're going to end up with a nice little edible cheese container that could be filled with your baby Caesar salad, because that's what I like to have these with. You could float that on top of a soup and then have it melt for your customer. And now you can see this one is done as well. I just let it cool for a minute before I take it off the Silpat. If I lift it up too soon, sometimes it can break, but it seems pretty ready to go. So there it is, Parmesan crisps. Simple and easy. I hope you enjoyed that and have a great pandemic.